skirt on or something. Just like a puffy skirt. And it's black. That's all I know. She has like a big black skirt and that is it. Maybe I do this too and you get black too. Like everything is just black. Oh my goodness. I need the hat. Please. I need the hat. Really, really bad. Yes! Okay. Quite as good as the last one. And you're not posing.
Wawa has tacos now?
Like a legit taco.
If you've searched for a home in the last 25 years, you've seen it, right below the price tag.
Welcome back, everyone. If there's one thing corporate executives are good at, it is completely ignoring their own rules while pretending they're doing us a huge favor. But right now, we have two huge topics to get through. So first, we're going to look at how the company is strictly locking out normal players out of the safest games on a platform, despite telling us the exact opposite would happen. And right after that, we're diving into a brand new official government investigation, which surprisingly isn't filled with outdated information this time, that completely calls out the company for creating a dangerous environment and demands answers about specific community members. So let's just jump right into the deep end of this disaster. Now let's start with the brand new update they're pushing to the platform that has completely ruined the experience for normal players. Over the past day or two, a ton of people in the community have been logging in just to find out that their favorite games are completely locked behind a brand new invisible wall. We are seeing players trying to join extremely popular and safe games only to be hit with a prompt telling them they need to do an age check to unlock the experience. Now at first glance, you might think the developers just accidentally set the age rating too high, but that is not the case at all. If you look at the actual game pages for these experiences, they're clearly marked with a minimum maturity rating. This is where the entire situation becomes really frustrating because the company is completely contradicting their own official rules. If you go and read their official account progression statements, they clearly see that users who have not yet completed the age check will be limited to games rated minimal or mild, and all communication will be unavailable. They promise the entire player base that if you did not want to scan your face and give them your personal information, you would still be able to play the safest games on the website, but now we're seeing the exact opposite happen in real time. They're actively slapping age restrictions on games that are literally rated for all ages. A huge portion of the community is rightfully upset about this because it proves the company lied to us just to force more data collection. A lot of players have pointed out that the platform is officially becoming unplayable because Roblox now wants your face and information to play the most basic games. People are realizing that every single penny they spend and every hour they put into this platform over the years has essentially gone to waste if they do not want to let an AI moderation system train on their face to verify their age. It is just so manipulative to promise players a safe zone where they do not need to verify their identity and then secretly turn around and lock those exact games anyway. This is a deliberate choice by the executives to force every single user into their broken age verification system. They want everyone to scan their personal documents so they can build a huge database and look good for their investors. They build this whole narrative that they were separating the platform into safe zones and mature zones, but the reality is they just want to put a padlock on every single door until you hand over your personal data. Just think about how backwards this entire system is right now, because they're telling kids they cannot play a minimal maturity game about catching digital monsters without proving their age, but as we saw last week, they're still letting weird Diddy roleplay games sit on the complete failure of a Roblox Kids safety rollout. When you grouped all the complaints together for the past few days, the overarching theme is just pure exhaustion from all this corporate desperation. Nobody wants to deal with this anymore, and people do not log on to a block game to deal with bureaucratic red tape and facial scans. They log on to escape the real world and have some fun with their friends, but the executives are so disconnected from reality that they think forcing a teenager to scan their government ID just to play a basic game is a perfectly normal business decision. It completely ruins the organic fun of the platform and replaces it with a corporate environment where it's constantly being monitored and verified, especially after implying that you wouldn't even need to, which is the worst part about it. And at that point, I'm genuinely wondering if this sort of rug pull is even legal to begin with. And the reason they're panicking and forcing all these broken age gates right now is finally starting to make sense when you look at what is happening behind the scenes. This brings us to the second major topic today, which is the huge press release from the Connecticut Attorney General named William Tong. He just announced that the state has officially opened an investigation to the gaming platform following widespread reports of harm towards kids. Now, we see legal threats from different states all the time, but the specific wording of this government official use shows they're actually not playing games anymore. He goes on to say that their investigation seeks to uncover exactly what the company knew about the widespread bad actor activity on its platform and how they profited from it. And a part of this official statement that really connects everything together is when he said they're done waiting for health measures from big tech. Now let's take a really close look and read the phrase health measures. And if you haven't been living under a rock, it immediately makes you think about a complete joke of a rollout for the new kids accounts that we talked about in our previous videos. The company puts these new age-restricted accounts to pretend they were cleaning up the platform, but as we saw, you could still easily log in and find weird dating and pull roguelike games sitting comfortably with a minimal maturity rating. They built a shiny new kids system and called it a safety feature, but they left the front door wide open for all the controversial stuff that already existed. That is the exact definition of a health measure. It's literally just a PR stunt to keep their investors happy and protect their stock price, while the real problems go completely ignored. Unlike the previous lawsuits where they peddled the same outdated information before the safety update came out, the government is looking at the exact same corporate lies that the committee has been complaining about and is actually calling them out for it. It's actually hilarious to see a state investigator seeing right through the fake safety updates. It gets even worse for the corporate executives when you look at what the state is actually demanding from them. The press release states that Connecticut is sending a civil investigative demand seeking comprehensive information regarding the age of users and the income generated from them. But then they started asking for a very specific company records that prove that the government is actively watching the YouTube community. They're seeking records related to a game that attempts to recreate a real-world tragedy, and more importantly, they're demanding records related to the PDF hunt.
the slow death
to known as Schlep.
unforeseen.
Who was set to cease and desist and banned from the platform. This is a huge crossover moment because it proves the government is actually watching community videos and using this evidence. The corporate suits can no longer just ban a YouTuber and pretend the controversy went away because the state attorney general is putting those banned names into official subpoenas and demanding answers. It completely destroys a bubble that the executives thought they were living in, where they could just sweep everything under the rug with a quick moderation ban. They also note that the state is demanding records related to the experts from child safety organizations that the company claims were consulted in designing their safety systems. The company tries to use these supposed safety experts
Mind that such missteps are the exception, and not the rule.
to justify why they need to force ID verification on everyone and create those impossible highly engaged player metrics under the excuse that they were trying to protect the kids. But the government is essentially saying they do not buy the excuse at all, and they want to see the actual emails proving these experts signed off on these terrible design choices. They want to know if the company actually listened to safety professionals or if they hired PR teams to sign off on health measures. And speaking of financial things, this investigation points out that the state's looking into the measures that company has taken to prevent misuse of the virtual currency. The platform operates a huge virtual economy where they pocket real money from advertisers and investors while tossing absolute scraps to developers, as we've seen from our previous video, where developers using the Join with Work feature dealt with nearly 100% pay cuts compared to their project's total value, which is another massive scam that I really wish we could be talking about whether this whole scheme is legal or not. And when a state government starts asking questions about how their virtual currency is being misused, it shows that the entire financial foundation of the platform is under intense scrutiny. They've been so focused on pumping up their metrics that they lost sight of the fact that they're running a digital economy populated mostly by kids. This investigation follows recent settlements in other states like Texas and Florida, which brings us back to the real world outcome of all this legal pressure. When a large corporation gets hit with subpoenas from half a dozen different state governments, they do not sit down and thoughtfully fix a problem. If you're already aware of how the corporate playbook works, yes guys, more AI moderation all the way up to the maximum setting. They'll not spend the money to hire 10,000 real human moderators because that hurts their profit margins. Instead, they'll just deploy the most aggressive broken AI filters they can possibly find and punish regular players in the process. We're going to see an even heavier reliance on the exact same broken algorithms that lock players out of minimal maturity games, and they'll use the state investigation as the ultimate excuse to force ID verification on everyone, claiming that the government made them do it, when in reality, they just want to avoid paying real human beings to do the moderation work. It is a never-ending cycle of corporate competence where the executives make terrible decisions to save money and then punish the innocent users when the government finally catches on. I firmly believe that relying on cheap AI moderation systems and forcing users to hand over personal information is a perpetually lazy shortcut that destroys the core foundation of online game communities. We deserve platforms that invest in real human support teams instead of treating every player like a liability that needs to be scanned and processed by a machine. I would really love to hear what you guys think about this government investigation and whether you think the platform will ever fix or broken age restrictions. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Thank you all for taking the time to watch this video, and I'll see you in the next one.
No, Jax, don't do it. It's too late, Pomni. Now that everyone knows about my allegory, I'm gonna pimmy glitch myself. You'll all be sorry you ever criticized me, Jax, the best character. Oh. Huh. So, that's it? That's the end of Jax?
I guess I'll miss him.
That was so unsatisfying. Jax had so much wasted potential. Did he, though? He was kind of lame and predictable from day one. And he was rambling about his backstory for like an hour, while we all just sat around and did nothing. Why did we even like that guy in the first place? Hey guys, I'm back. Let's go watch Instagram Reels.
Yeah!
Huh? Where am I?
What is this? Who put yellow face?
He literally just walked up.
Yeah, I
and saw
know.
it like this.
Yeah, I know. Like, this is our first time seeing this laptop. This is in Costco in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Like, someone put yellow face on the Costco laptop.
What? Could there be an object? Wait,
But yeah,
here's what we can do. There's a screenshot here. I can see when it was taken.
Oh yeah. We can see how long has yellow face been on this monitor for?
Okay.
Ooh. July
Tuesday,
30th,
July 30th,
7:18. With
That
3
was
minutes
minutes
ago.
ago.
With 3 minutes ago, so they're probably
That
still
means
in the building.
There's a VFDI camera.
Still in the meeting. Yeah.
3 minutes ago. What on earth?
Wait, maybe we can. Okay, no, we shouldn't try to find them, but like 180 seconds.
This is no.
Get some. Wait, no. Do you think it? Okay. When I first saw it, I thought like Adam or Abby. No, you're Adam. Abby set it up, but she didn't.
Why would Abby do
But also,
that?
I don't know how that'd be possible to do it that fast.
Well, he's
What
like,
are the actual odds?
and he's like,
Zero.
I'm
3
selling
minutes
my
ago.
laptop. You know.
Nobody's gonna believe it. We're gonna post.
A night.
Yeah, I know. No one's gonna believe it.
fear